Hello, everyone. This is Thor, and I wanted to talk about something that I believe is understated these days, and part of the reason why I'm even making videos in the first place here. I've titled this video, Why You Must Create to Thrive, and that's because I believe one of the most important things that you can do is create. I'd like to talk a bit about why I think meaningful efforts at creating things are important for people's grounding and mental health as I'm playing some games here. Before digging into this topic, I want to take a generous step back and say that I don't mean that you have to create YouTube videos. While I certainly think YouTube is a great way to flex some of these creative muscles, creation can be something as simple as building something, baking something, writing something, making something in the realm of art. There are almost limited ways to create in the world. And the main point that I wanted to emphasize here is just to take some steps and participate in some form of creation, no matter how trivial it seems to you. I think it's very important. Why do I think it's important? Why should you seek to create something? I could go over a whole bunch of psychological or biologically sound reasons for why this is important. I could talk about the hierarchy of needs, self actualization trees, that we've evolved to manipulate our environments, and this is what we should be doing. That's all certainly a very important part of all of this, but this channel is not about that. This channel is more about my thoughts and what I've learned and experienced with regards to this. If you want to learn about the scientific rationale for a lot of this, there are far better channels out there than this is going to be. My source for a lot of the commentary on this channel is going to be the I made it the hell up, trust me, bro variety. This is my channel and my thoughts, so I'm exercising creator's privilege here. But joking aside, I think that people function at a much higher level of life satisfaction when they are engaging in creative activities. The points in my life where I was making little progress personally, or I found myself stuck in a rut, or I was unsatisfied with things, or found myself in more difficult circumstances, many of which of my own making, was when I spent more time consuming things than producing things. And I've seen so many folks fall into spirals of what can only be called degeneration based on their patterns of consumption and lack of meaningful creation in their lives. It can be heartbreaking. It's a really miserable place to be, to see people in those circumstances, and I really don't wish it on anyone. Conversely, some of the happiest people and the most fulfilled people that I interact with and have met in my travels fall under the category of craftsmen or even artisan of some sort. These people, they spend their days creating, in most cases, tangible products through mastery and manipulation of their environment in some way. Personally, I've found amazing mood improving effects from the simple act of getting up early and baking a loaf of bread, taking a few hours on the weekend to brew my own mead or beer or something like that with my friends, getting a simple woodworking project going, even if that's putting together a bookcase or something like that that I bought, or even writing a short story or two, something for background for some of my tabletop characters or something for dungeon mastering, something along those lines. These activities are important and they do a lot to improve your mood and self actualize you, I think, in a very important way. I'd go so far to say that people who are suffering from episodes of ennui, like the pointlessness, the search for meaning in their life in this modern world, they're far better served by taking up some sort of creative hobby than following almost any other piece of advice that I've ever seen offered on the topic, or scrolling through endless YouTube videos or Instagram posts or whatever they're doing, doom scrolling. I think it's harder to worry about the trivialities of life when you're in the creative process, or even better, you're in the creative zone and things are flowing for you. That sense of accomplishment is satisfying in a sustainable way, a very sustainable way, that other forms of gratification, especially the all too common instant gratification variety, cannot sustain for any length of time. We find ourselves in a world of instant dopamine hits and rampant ADHD, to the point where I think some slower, more deliberate creation would go a long way towards balancing out our humors, as it were, if I'm going to borrow a little bit from 40K here, and creating a sense of accomplished dignity. I think it's very obvious, and people need to get back to the very process of creating things like our ancestors did. One of the reasons that I play as dwarves in most of the games that I play and enjoy their lore is that dwarves are at their hearts craftspeople, craftsworkers, crafts dwarves, however you want to call it. Their culture and their outlook values skilled craftsmanship and takes creation to the ultimate levels of admiration and respect. There's something fascinating about that, and something that I would say is quietly fulfilling in that particular type of outlook that the modern world, I feel, takes for granted in a lot of ways. Personally, I think it's time we stop taking it for granted and we take back some control of things and make creation a part of our lives again. I can say that it's very empowering to know that you have the capacity to create something. The effects on your self esteem and your perception of competence only improve with each act of creation that you engage in. It's harder and harder to become depressed or feel like an imposter when you consistently demonstrate that you can create things. I think this has a lot of knock on effects to many aspects of our life and is very healthy for us. You know, everything from the practical to the social to the abstract can be improved dramatically if we are engaging in more creation and less consumption. That's kind of what I think about that. I'm not sure it's a popular opinion, but it's what I've observed over the years. I started getting back into creating these YouTube videos as an extension of my writing projects and to have a more audio visual rendition of my thoughts. And I can say that it's very satisfying to see more and more videos get added to my channel and to know that I'm leaving a personal legacy of creation and my thoughts are going to get out there in much the same way as perhaps some ancient sage may have found satisfaction working on their scrolls or their manuscripts. I think it's an undeniable sense of self actualization to this as well. It can't be ignored. And for that reason, I recommend that everyone flex their content creation muscles and add something to the world in this way. And while I certainly can't promise that it's going to fix all of your problems, especially not right away, I think it's going to improve your life and your mood in so many positive ways that, frankly, I don't think anyone can afford not to be engaged in creative endeavors. So I want to wind down here. I want to end this video on a challenge for both myself and anybody who happens to watch this. I think we need to start thriving again and get more enjoyment out of our world by adding something to it in a positive way. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to go about that in a future video. I've got some ideas and thoughts about how to get yourself into the proper mindset and make a positive change that have worked for me personally. And maybe I can offer some sage advice on that. I'd like to thank everyone once again that took their time to listen to this video. I appreciate it more than I can express here, and I sincerely hope that you enjoyed listening. I hope it made your day a little bit better. The next video is going to dive into a topic that I have quite a bit to talk about, and I think it's relevant for almost everyone out there. I wanted to talk a little bit more about staying sane in the working world and keeping your drive and avoiding some of the pitfalls that I've experienced over the years. But that's a topic for another day. I hope you will join me for the next video, but I'm going to get back to gaming here. Farewell for now, and keep your feet on the ground.